So in today's video, I'm going to go through two factors that really are going to determine what the E2 visa minimum investment is going to be. This is if you're considering a startup, starting your own business from scratch, or bringing your company from abroad to the United States. If you're exploring buying an existing business, or even starting a business, a franchise business from zero, or buying an existing franchise business. It doesn't matter. This video is relevant for you. So what are these two factors? Number one factor is the time commitment. Very few Americans make minimum wage. So if you don't want to work much and have a day-to-day manager in place, employees might be making $30K, $40K, depending on the business. The manager's probably going to be about $60,000 you're going to have to pay him or her. So that's about $5,000 a month. The owner can substitute that manager and really bring the costs way down and probably increase revenue, because no one's going to care about your E2 visa business as much as you, the owner, whose livelihoods depending on the business and whose visa for his or her family is tied to that business. You're going to care a lot more about increasing revenue, bringing down costs, and bringing up profitability. So depending on the time commitment, you could have a lower investment, say at 80, 100,000, or a higher investment, 200, 250K or more. What's your risk appetite? So are you happy flipping the coin and there's a 50% chance the business fails in the first 5 years, 50% chance the business succeeds in the 5 years? Or do you want to play at the 88%, 90 percentile that our visa franchise clients prefer to play at the 90 percentage, where 90% of the time the business goes well, they're able to continue to grow the business, take dividends from the business, maintain the business for their E2 visa, and 10% of the time, they've got to invest extra capital or they even close the business. If you want to play at the 50-50 rate, the cheapest options go on buying an existing business. We have a business for sale section at Vetted Biz. You can go to BizBuySell, BizQuest, BizBen if you're in the state of California, and buy a business for $80,000 or $100,000. If I was in your shoes, I would offer the seller a non-refundable deposit of $20,000 or $30,000 and put the rest in escrow dependent on the E2 visa issuance. Make that offer conditioned on the visa issuance. Now, an $80,000 to $100,000 existing business is going to require a ton of work to especially reduce the downside. So revenue generally drops 10 to 20% when there's a change in business ownership, and then profits change by even a greater percentage. So the cheaper option, you risk total capital loss. And if you're buying an existing business for $80,000, you're playing in that flipping a coin where the transition could not go well. The old seller could start a parallel business in an adjacent neighborhood. Even if you have the best agreements in place, do you really want to be in court fighting that seller who set up a very similar business nearby your business that you bought from him? So buying a business at $80,000 or $100,000, it could qualify and should qualify for the E2 visa. The big question is, can you renew that business in year 5? And is that business going to be around? In my experience, it's better to start a business from zero if you just have $80,000 to invest, as most businesses that you start from zero with $80,000, if you scale it up and do a good job, in year 5, that business should be worth 200, 250K plus. So a business that you buy for $250,000, you could potentially start with $80,000. Now, there's also time that goes in here. So the time it takes to build that business up and start making significant income for you and your family, it's not going to be overnight. And that's why people pay a premium investing $250K, $300K in an established E2 visa business that already has cash flow. So the minimum investment really depends on a few factors, but key factor, what's your time commitment? How many hours can you allocate to the business, and how active are you going to be as the owner? And also, what's your risk appetite? Are you willing to flip the coin, invest in an existing business, the bare minimum, but knowing investing in an existing business, 80K, 100K, 120K, there's a good chance that it's not going to last 5 years. So be sure to understand what your risk appetite is and what the time commitment that you have for your E2 visa business before you start looking and exploring businesses, franchises, or even starting your own business for the E2 visa.